We made it. This is what we made it.
I'm gonna cry.
Look at that.
Camera boys.
If someone randomly came up to you and asked you, what's one thing that you want to do before you die? Does something immediately come to mind? For me, a lot of things come to mind, but I think the most immediate one was always going on a huge backpacking trip across Europe and just getting to see the world and get out there. The idea of just bouncing around on a train without much of a plan and just seeing everything from the mountains to the beach and hiking and staying in hostels is seriously one of the most appealing things I can think of. The reason I'm making this film is because I know a lot of other people have similar goals and dreams of traveling the world and specifically Europe, and I think that hopefully if I can share findings that we made on our trip and things that we learned, that it can help you also do a similar trip and have the best travel experience possible. A small note before we really get into this is that I'm fully aware of how expensive traveling is, and I personally had to save up my money for a good bit of time before this trip, but that was a big part of what made it so special and what motivated me to make this film. My goal is that watching this will help you see that it's worth it to save that money and go have those experiences with your family and your friends. So find a comfortable seat, sit back, relax, and we've got some adventures to watch.
Sharing my heart, staring me apart, but I know I miss you, baby, if I left right now.
Keep playing the wrong.
Doing what I can, trying to be your man, and every time I kiss you, baby, I can hear the sound of breaking down.
June 21st, the adventure began. Me and my brother Harrison flew out of DC en route to Milan, and pretty much all we knew for certain was that we had to be at our flight home in Lisbon, Portugal, a month from the day we left. So we essentially had 30 days to figure out how to make it from Milan to Lisbon. On the flight to Milan, we flew right over the Alps, and it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen before. Seeing those mountains and knowing that we were going to get to explore them in the upcoming weeks was an insane feeling, and it built so much excitement going into the trip. About 8 hours later, we finally made it into Milan, and it was time to go look for our hostel. Harrison and I had a pretty stressful time getting checked into our hostel, but we finally got it figured out, and we met some new friends there at the hostel, so we went into the city and went to find some stuff to do. Little did I know, I was actually about to have one of the highlights of my entire trip. While we were walking in the city, we ended up coming across a soccer freestyler, and that was pretty much my entire life when I was 15, and I'd never really had anyone to freestyle with, and it was always a dream to meet other people with the same passion as me because it was a pretty rare thing to be into. And so obviously I had to pull up and do a few tricks with him. Ended up making a new friend out of it. His name's Lasha. He was a super friendly guy and an amazing freestyler, and it was so wholesome to make a new friend where you don't even speak the same language, but you use freestyle to connect with each other. That was a unique experience that I had never had before, and I was so grateful for it. After we explored Milan, our next destination was the Dolomites, which are the Italian Alps, and we stayed at a little mountain town called Trentino. This is where we finally met up with our friend Chris, who had already been traveling Europe for about a week, and we were about to spend another week traveling with him. Once we linked up with Chris, we really cut right to the chase and headed towards the Dolomites. We traveled around on this trip by train every day except for this 2-day window where we rented a car. After about a 2-hour drive, we made it to our destination, Cinque. We ended up making it just in time to get the last cable car up before they closed. After one of the most badass cable car rides in the world, we finally made it to the top.
Oh yeah, we made it.
Boys made
We
it.
made it. This is
Boys
unreal. We
made
made
it.
it. Oh my god. Look at that. Holy shit. I'm gonna cry.
I know.
Oh my god.
Wait, who's gonna zoom lens? Someone
I
zoom
do.
lens someone. We'll get that later.
Yo.
You go, holy fuck. Dude, how far out can we go? Can we just walk wherever? What the fuck?
I think you could just walk.
Dude.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm staying here.
you know,
This
that-
is crazy.
that's so sick.
fuck?
Oh my god.
Dude, this counts. Oh, such a fucking dream.
That's
I
like-
can die now, like I'm chilling.
That's
Yeah.
like genuinely.
This is all that matters.
Look way
Look
out
at that
there.
wall. That's all.
Look way, you can see peaks way out there.
With you. I can't even like formulate a sentence right now. It's just like when you like when you like go to
Unreal.
heaven, this is what I want to see when I just like step out. I'm pretty sure this is what you see. It's definitely what you see. I'm gonna go post up with the cows down there. That's holding the camera. I know. And holding the camera. Do you want to do a running hug? Austin.
Oh, this is at 60p, so it's gonna be fucking.
Oh, let's go.
I'm a ghost and you know this. That's why we broke up in the first place. Cause that I'm ready to go. Heartbeat, my heartbeat. How you know whenever you are around. Can't speak, I can't speak.
I can still remember like it was yesterday, although it was probably a few years ago. I was just scrolling on Instagram and I saw a picture of this place, Cinque, and I remember just thinking, oh my god, I need to go there at some point. And I really didn't think I'd be going there anytime soon, but yeah, I just sat here on this hill in disbelief, just looking at the views and thinking about how lucky I am that I got to see this in person. And I never really thought it would actually happen, and it did. So it was just a wild moment. And it's moments like these that just remind you how lucky you are to be alive. And I know that sounds cliche, but you really can make things happen. And I don't know, I just never really thought that I'd be seeing this place in person, and the fact that we were able to do it and make it happen in a weird way made it feel like your goals are more achievable than you really think, and even if something feels crazy, it is still very possible to do it if you prioritize it. I think that idea comes from my dad instilling that in me and my brothers in a big way over the years, and he's always been super encouraging and positive and motivating of us to go after big things and work hard. And when you keep that mindset, you can accomplish a lot more than you think, which he's been a prime example of. And I look up to him a lot for So shout out to you, Dad, if you're seeing this. You're killing it. Two, one. Yep. While we were on our trip, my mom was actually hiking the Camino de Santiago through hike through Spain at the same time, and I had to give her a quick call and see what she was up to, show her the view, and yeah, just see what she had going on. And it was a really cool experience to share that view with her and also see what she was up to at the same time. It's become a little bit of a recurring thing over the years when I'm traveling to FaceTime my parents when I'm up at a cool view to show them. And yeah, this was just an awesome moment and reminded me of why technology can be really awesome sometimes, because you can share these things with the people that you want to. Anyway, this was such a great memory, and shout out to you, Mom. Such a badass feat to hike the entire Camino. Ever since I found out about Seceda, I wanted to fly the drone at it and get the shots, and Chris was able to do that phenomenally in this next section.
Yep,
So
right in the
I hope
middle
you
frame.
enjoy these shots, and shout out to you, Chris. They look insane. One of the awesome things about traveling with Chris was that he's so good with the drone and the camera too, and so I was able to get some photos and he would do the video and we would just split up who was capturing what, and it kind of takes some of the pressure off of needing to capture everything because you can kind of split it up and take turns experiencing it and getting the shots. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. Also, a lesson learned from this experience was that if you're a photographer or videographer, it's super helpful to travel with another videographer or photographer because they help take a lot of pressure off you on the trip and they allow you to experience it more and not always be focusing on getting all the content for yourself.
No.
After we finished freezing our fingers off flying the drone and capturing the sunset, we started our hike down the mountain. The cable car was closed, so we had about 4 miles to go. And it was a little bit steep, but yeah, I'll just show you.
Okay, here's the beginning of our long descent down. Okay. So often. We won't be back down till like 11:30 to the car, and then won't be back home until like 12:30 or 1.
I would withstand 18 hours of Japanese water torture on the face of this cliff for the shots we got today. So things are gonna be okay.
Gonna be okay. A little chilly, but we're gonna be all right. Hopefully.
We made it back to our Airbnb for the night, and then we rested up for a big day of driving the next day. We made it back into the Dolomites, and we spent the next couple of hours driving towards Lago di Carezza, a beautiful alpine lake, and the pine forests we got to go through on the way there were beautiful. So I thought I would just let the footage roll and let you enjoy for a few minutes.
Plant growth. I love life. You. I love life. Look at this plant growth. Damn, they need to clean this so I can get the shot. It's too dirty. Kind of close. Damn. Wow.
Look at that bike and flip him off.
It's too pretty. I want to go back to New Jersey. This is my Xbox. Yeah, I want to go home. Homesick.
After pulling off the road to look at the views about 9 million times, we finally made it to Lago di Carezza. This lake was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. The water was so crystal clear and blue that it really looked like they added food coloring to it. This was definitely one of the more touristy spots we went to in Italy, but we met some really cool locals there, and we ended up hanging out for a couple hours just talking to them and getting photos and videos.
Yo, Austin, say hi.
That was one of the most beautiful lakes I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was the first of many we saw on the trip, but just the color of that blue water blew us away and got us so excited for the rest that we were going to see. So we set back off into the Dolomites en route to some more hikes, and yeah, here's the drive.
Bet. Yeah, you wanna just like run through this? It's in 120. Yeah. Ready? Yep.
After pulling off the road for some more incredible glacial valley views, we took the drone up for a few and filmed the road that we were driving down. I feel like it's widely known that Europe is the place to use the train, to travel around and just get a train pass and go wherever you want pretty much. And that was awesome, and that was one of our favorite parts of the trip. But the Dolomites especially were the spot to have a rental car, because you can really just go anywhere with it, where with trains sometimes it's harder to get to the trails that you're trying to go to, and it's still doable, but it just makes it a little bit more complicated. So I would recommend, if you have the means and the funds to do it, definitely try and get a rental car for a couple days if you're visiting Europe, because it just allows you so much freedom and flexibility that you don't get as much of with the train. That also applies a lot more to mountainous areas where it's a little bit more difficult to get around by the train, where in a city I think it's the way to go to just have the rail pass and just let it take you around there, because it's a lot more simple, and sometimes the roads get pretty chaotic there in the city. But yeah, the mountain roads out in the Dolomites and the Alps in general are definitely worth driving on, just for the scenery and because they're really fun to drive on too.
Yo, we got the same car.
I gotta lower the aperture all the way down so I can make it super fast shutter so we don't get blur. Nah, bro, let's go to Cadini. I don't know. You call it. Oh, look at that.
Look at this road, though.
Do we even need to go to Cadini?
Okay, but look at this road going down.
I know. Let's do it. Fuck it. Find a pull off. Are we gonna have time to get sunset, though? We could potentially blow Cadini if we don't make it. Let's stick to Cadini.
Yeah. God damn it.
I'll rip photos. Don't worry. Photo video.
Okay, but look at this whiny road from up there.
This is a good problem to have.
I mean, here, look, real quick. 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
5.
Go for it. Honestly, no stress. Either way, absolutely incredible. And then walk left. All right, good. Absolutely
Look at the
beautiful.
flares. I'm glad you came. I think these numbers like the turn. The number of turn. Huh, dude, look at this. Fucking what the
Wait, road shot?
Yeah, there's no one here.
Yeah, there's no one here. Road shot. I'm like taking an actual video too.
Wait. Take the video. Dude, this looks so good. Oh my god.
Wait, I'm gonna get my tripod and take a still shot.
up until this point in the day, we'd been rushing to try to get to this hike called Cadini di Misurina, which is one of the most iconic views and hiking spots in the Dolomites, with some crazy spots you can get drone shots of, and just generally an amazing place to take videos. But we were rushing and stressing ourselves out a little bit to try to get there before sunset. And this spot right now in the drive is when I think we decided, okay, we're probably not going to make it, but that's okay. And I'm honestly really glad we had that realization and we didn't continue stressing ourselves out, because I mean, look at this. This is one of the most beautiful drives and things I've ever seen. And I think that if we had continued rushing and trying to get to this hike, even if we did make it, we would have been so stressed out to try to get the shots before it got dark, and thinking about, oh man, like we didn't really fully take in the drive either. So I was very happy that we had that realization hit where we were like, all right, let's just be present, enjoy this beautiful view around us. And that's what we did. We ended up turning around and pulling off the road and just eating some dinner, taking in the views, flying the drone, and it ended up being probably the best decision we made on the entire trip. So very grateful for that, and that was a quick little lesson we learned. Appreciate what's around you and don't always be looking for the bigger, better thing. We pulled off at this little mountain pass right here and then just got out of the car and kind of walked up that grassy hill you see right there and hung out, man. We flew the drone and we're just vibing out. The drone footage we got was pretty ridiculous, and just editing this film, watching it, it honestly made me feel emotional just seeing how beautiful the landscape was. So my roommate Chris Timothy actually helped me find a really nice song to use for it, so shout out to him for that. And yeah, let's roll that footage in a minute here after you see the behind the scenes of capturing it.
Could it even get the dub?
Ascolta, gli stellano oggi? Ok, come le vedi bene?
Life is good.
There you go.
We're in the Dolomites.
We're in the Dolomite.
Let's go.
We're in the Dolomite. Woohoo!
Videos. So, want to go to the Alps?
I like your gear.
So how'd you guys meet?
I went up and say hi.
Yeah.
Life sure is good. Very good.
Very good, sir. I'm not standing with the likes of you. I personally don't Hey, Ralph. You think a shit ton.
Just use up all his. Huh? Run. You gotta take the backpack off. The red is invisible.
That's the hump, or am I on the hump?
You're on the hump.
Oh shit, okay.
Get on that hump. I did.
Like zoom in a bit,
I did. I'll do it again.
and then do all the way zoom down. Try to get me in that third area I showed you. Like no matter what the zoom's at.
Yep. I got you.
Alright, bet. You take a bunch?
I took so many.
Okay, bet.
Your bag? I guess it's hard to take it.
I think I speak for all of us when I say that we had a life-changing few days spent in the Dolomites. The mountains were even more beautiful than I could have imagined, and I felt so grateful that we got to start off our trip this way. Felt a little bit sad saying our goodbyes to these mountains, but we had a bunch of other spots to hit.
Until next time.
I don't know if we're gonna be back. Wait, boys, I don't know if we're gonna be back.
Harrison on the cheek.
We need one of those pics.
Yeah, two shawties on my hip.
Hey,
Peace out.
Napoli, where love is king.
hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, sing-a-ling.
As you can see, Cinque Terre is ridiculously beautiful, and it was the first beach spot that we hit on the entire trip, and we definitely enjoyed it a lot. The food was unbelievable, and every single sunset we caught was one of the best we'd seen in our entire lives. I didn't get any video of it, but I had pesto lasagna for the first time, and it was probably my favorite food I've had to date. Overall, it was just a nice change of pace from bouncing around and trying to catch every single hike every day, which is really fun, but it definitely tires you out, where here in Cinque Terre, you're relaxing all day, just walking around, eating good food, hanging out with the people that you came with, or even meeting new people. We also had a crazy experience at the end of this little section of our trip. We ran back into our friend Chris that we had met a week before at our hostel in Milan, randomly. Like, we just saw him in a crowd of people and went up to him, and it was him. So we spent a little bit of time that day hanging out with him and just catching up and enjoying the beach with him.
I'm gonna send a video to the QUO group chat.
Do it, man.
All right, so we're out here in Cinque Terre, and we run back into Canadian Chris.
Randomly
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Just chilling on a tour. So yeah, now we're balling. That's so funny.
To this day, that's definitely the biggest small world moment I've ever had, where, yeah, we met someone in the north of Italy, part ways, and then see him a week later across the entire country. Crazy. We spent the last of our time in Cinque Terre just relaxing and got ready for some more mountain sending in our next stop, Switzerland.
Switzerland, boys. Look at this thing. Me too.
Austin, hand me my pizza box.
But I need to wash my hand.
Yeah, I don't want to touch food.
Oh, that's true.
I just want to eat pizza.
Anyone got hand sanitizer?
They have a bathroom.
I bet they have a
On the
bathroom.
train.
Why is it not focusing? What the There you go. Come here, Austin. Look at it. Yeah, you look good enough. Close enough. Thank you.
Feeling good.
The fur.
Okay, we should find some labs to hike Matterhorn.
It's always been a dream to see the Swiss Alps, and once we got there, it was nothing short of breathtaking. We knew we were going to be blown away by what Switzerland had to offer, but I think the moment that made it real for us was catching this unbelievable view of the Matterhorn.
Pack yourself a toothbrush, dear. Pack yourself a favorite blouse. Take a withdrawal slip. Take all of your savings out. 'Cause if we don't leave this town, we might never make it out. I was not born to drown. Baby, come on. Forget what Father Brennan said. We were not born.
The next day, we took a cable car up the mountain to this hike that was supposed to take us to an alpine lake view of the Matterhorn, which is a dream come true. But before that, we got to the top section here, and this guy was performing with the Matterhorn in the backdrop. What an amazing place to play. So yeah, we just sat here for a few minutes and watched him do his thing.
Perfect coins. Thank you.
After hanging out for a little bit, we continued hiking in pursuit of the most badass Matterhorn shots imaginable.
Yep. Go. Go. Alright, go for it. Put both your hand up. It's a video. There you go. Face the Matterhorn. Yeah, do it again. Face the Matterhorn. Yeah, do it again. Like, there you go. Yep. Sweet.
What happened to us? What'd you do? I fell in. Tastes more like a pina colada than the pina coladas we got.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we all formed a new obsession for the Matterhorn on this hike, and we went back for the evening to our Airbnb and cooked some dinner and got a couple beers and just sat on the back porch and watched this amazing light hit the Matterhorn. A pro tip that we learned from our trip is stay in some Airbnbs when you're traveling, especially with friends, because split 3 ways with your friends, Airbnbs can actually be cheaper than hostels sometimes, especially in Switzerland where everything is so much more expensive than in a lot of the other countries. That tip allowed us a lot of flexibility on our trip that we wouldn't have had from doing hostels, because a lot of the time you have to book them way further in advance than in Airbnbs. Anyway, check out this time lapse of the clouds hitting the Matterhorn. It was an incredible ending to the day, and we went to sleep and got ready for our big hike the next day to O'Shaughnessy Lake.
Are you gonna pet it?
We made some new cow friends, and little did we know we were about to see the most majestic lake of the entire trip. The scale of this thing was unbelievable, and I think not starting it off with a drone shot would be a disservice to the video, so let's roll it.
Joe, you want to look back at me real quick?
What'd you say?
Oh shit!
Yes, sir.
I just want to do like a one really good one.
Good. Nice. Yeah, that's right.
Look at you.
The camera's filming still good too.
I don't think we have audio, but
We don't have body fat or audio.
I think this goes down as one of the best polar plunges of all time, and it was the perfect way to part ways with Chris. We were about to head to the French Alps next, but Chris was about to go to Cambodia, so we parted ways the next evening, and I didn't really film too much the rest of this day, so this is the last shot I have. But a huge thank you to Chris for just making the trip so much more fun, and he got so much content and made it a lot easier for me to relax and not worry about getting all the videos, because he was getting the videos too. So he made that life and travel balance so much better, and I really appreciated it. So travel with someone like Chris. He's the man. After saying goodbye to Chris, Harrison and I were lucky enough to stay one more day in Zermatt because our Airbnb host had one more slot available for that night. We enjoyed a few little chill hikes that were near the Airbnb and just enjoyed the nature. I know I've already talked about one small world moment in this video, but we were about to have another one. Harrison had been posting some Instagram stories from the places in Switzerland we were going to, and his friend Bella swiped up on one of his stories and said she was in Switzerland too, in Zermatt, at the same time as us. Obviously, we had to meet up and go do a badass hike with her. Just like that, we met up with Bella and her mom, and we ended up hiking across the longest suspended bridge in the entire Alp region.
I really would talk myself out.
Yeah, we wouldn't have done this either.
No, you're good.
I want to like get like roller skates and go on this.
You look at roller skates on
Jump
this.
off.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do roller skates.
Shrek, I'm looking down.
Holy shit. Oh my god. We're on the third tallest suspended bridge on Earth in the Swiss Alps. The bridge is shaking, but life is good. Some dude just called me Alpine Jesus. So yeah, my trip is made. Running into Bella and her mom was such a nice surprise, and they were so nice, and I loved meeting them and doing the hike with them. And if it weren't for Instagram, we wouldn't have run into them, and we would have just left Switzerland without having that experience. So make sure you're uploading content when you're doing your trip, because you never know who might see it and you could connect with. We stayed the first night in Annecy, which is outside of the French Alps, and then the next day we headed into Chamonix area and stayed at a little town called Salanches. We totally lucked out, and our Airbnb had a view of Mont Blanc right out of the backyard, which is the tallest Alp and the tallest mountain in all of Europe. Yeah, how about that hike up?
Coming down.
Look right.
Got it.
Once we made it up the mountain in the cable car, we had a pretty big hike ahead of us to Lac Blanc, which is one of the most iconic lakes in the Chamonix area and in the Alps in general. Towards the top of the mountain, it got pretty steep, so we were breathing pretty heavily, but we were almost there, and we were about to see the iconic view that we had been waiting for. After hanging out at Lac Blanc, enjoying the view for about an hour or maybe even a little more, we got ready to start our hike back. And to me, Lac Blanc felt like the perfect ending to France, and we were about to go to our next stop, but we had to make the hike back, and we were in for a pretty cool surprise. Not only were we gonna see some of the most badass glacier views we'd ever seen, we were gonna see our first ever ibex, which is a type of wild goat, and it was so cool seeing him just up in the mountains looking at the glacial views. What a life.
Big doggy vloggies.
Do you not want to video it?
Here, you can do it too. We can turn this into a vlog.
Vlogging the way down Lac Blanc.
Lac Blanc. This is the most beautiful place we've ever been. Hands down. Puts the Dolomites to shame.
Oh, for sure.
Thought Dolomites were gonna be the peak of the trip.
No chance.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Here, you want to carry it?
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Life is good. This is fucking stupid. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Not bad, eh?
The entire trip leading up to this, Harrison and I had pretty much been on our own besides when we were with our friend Chris and meeting up with some other friends, but we were finally going to meet up with some family. Our mom and our brother Emmett were staying in Madrid for a little bit, and we went to meet up with them and our family friends, the Lianos, and they're just the best people ever, and yeah, here's the introduction we had to them. It was so nice to see our mom in the middle of our trip and in the middle of her trip, and we really enjoyed hanging out with her and Emmett and of course the Lianos. They immediately greeted us with a nice meal with their whole family, and we had a bunch of nice drinks and just hung out and caught up after almost 10 years of not seeing each other. We had the nicest time with them, and we got ready to explore the northern region of Spain with them the next day.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Whoa.
You've been asking, but I don't have an answer. How come? I'm still thinking, let's pretend to fall asleep now. When we get old, will we regret this? Too young to think about all that shit. got a head start. 'Cause we could stay at home and watch the sunset, but I can't help from asking, are you bored yet? And if you're feeling lonely, you should tell me before this ends up as another memory. Will you tell the truth so I don't have to lie?
Spain was an incredible experience thanks to the Llanos that took us around and were just amazing hosts, and we were so appreciative of our time with them. We said our goodbyes and then we headed to our final destination of the trip. Believe it or not, Harrison and I figured out a way to make it from Milan to Lisbon in the month that we had in Europe. With so many life-changing experiences behind us from this trip, we really just hung out in Lisbon and enjoyed walking around the streets there. We spent a lot of time these last couple of days just reflecting on the fun times we had on the trip and just how grateful we were to have had those experiences. This trip brought Harrison and I so much closer together, and I think now it's funny that 2 years later, a lot of our time spent together is reminiscing on the times that we had on this Europe trip. It was an experience that impacted both of our outlooks on life and made us both really just excited for the future and for more experiences like these. That's what life is all about, creating more experiences that you're going to be excited for. That's definitely the biggest lesson that exploring Europe for a month together taught us. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yours is just a model today.
So you chugged your first, we can have the bottle
Wait.
Ribbons. They're so good.
Look at that! Holy shit! Look at yo! Oh my god! Look so good! What the fuck? Shampoo.
Yes, sir. I bet. Do it. I guess it's probably just taking a bit off.
Alright.
Alright. Signing off, Milan boys.
Oh shoot!
Sometimes if I
Oh, I'll take to the rim. We're climbing up some random stairs. It's so steep. Holy shit. Coach Zoe, where you at? Dude, my legs are... So I just ran over a mile to get to the doctor so they can check out my ear to make sure I don't have an ear infection. And it says I am 400 feet away from my destination. It says I'm pointing right at it. They do not know who they let up on the Dolomites.